Malaysia is a developing country. As the country grows, the number of people moving to the city increase, and consequently, the volume of the solid waste generated also increases. So what exactly is solid waste? Solid waste is usually defined as a useless waste type consisting of everyday items that are discharged by the public society. It is include food waste, household appliance, construction waste, and so on. Malaysia has projected solid waste productions in 2020 is 33,000 tonnes per day. It has increased more than 90% over the decade, and yet the society still take it easy about this issue. So what are the causes that contribute to it? What are the effects with the society? And most importantly, how do we tackle this issue to become a better, sustainable country?
30,000 tons is the average number of waste being produced by Malaysians, but only 5% of it is being recycled. Due to the rising number of solid waste, it has shown that land and air pollution is getting worse, including health problems of communities. Here are the causes of waste disposal in Malaysia. Number 1, increasing in population. This has caused consumption and disposal rate to grow as well. Urban development is the biggest contributor to waste. Most waste goes to landfills, but not all are being incinerated or recycled, and mostly it will be dumped. Number 2, open air landfills. Majority of landfills in Malaysia are open air pits. This is one of the cheapest method, but it gives bad side effect towards the environment. The main problem to this issue would be leaching that involves surface and groundwater contamination, soil contamination through direct contact, air pollution resulting from open burning, release of greenhouse gases, and unpleasant odor. Thirdly, illegal dumping. In Malaysia, garbage services only cover 66% of rural area populations, so most trash would end up strewn over the countryside. These giant piles of illegal trash will release all the toxic waste into soil and water that local communities depend on for farming, fishing, and drinking. And lastly, a throw-away culture. The citizens are also a contributor to this cost of waste disposal. The people are lack of public awareness and environmental education. Since 1988, awareness programs have failed due to poor public response. For example, in 2001, a campaign in Penang had the government to try and encourage the residents to recycle at least 1% of their domestic waste. They were provided with recycled bins, but it was misused as they threw all the non-recyclable items in those bins instead.
This issue surely impacts the society as a whole. One of the significant effects on the society is health problems. It can happen around an open dumping area or near the landfill site. Let's take for example the open dumping area. This is very dangerous for humans because of physical hazards and chemical hazards that are posed by the solid waste. Moreover, open dumping area is an ideal breeding ground for mosquitoes that could cause serious illnesses such as dengue, and also rodents and other insects that can risk human health. It could also be poisoning and cause chemical burns due to contact. The next effects of this issue would be on the economical aspects. Although waste management department could open up a lot of job opportunities for people in the field, poor waste management in a country could affect the economy as well. The country has to spend a lot of money to tackle the effects of improper waste management, such as opening up more landfills. The next effects of this issue would be on the environment. The first part would be water pollution. Water pollution might be caused by leachate from landfill sites, surface runoff from nearby disposal sites around the rivers or the lakes, and also groundwater contamination. All of this could affect the aquatic lives and also reduce the water quality. Next is the soil contamination. Soil contamination is usually caused by human activities such as disposal of industrial waste or domestic waste, industrial dumping, and also local waste disposal. It might be caused by spilling or leakage of any solvents and dry cleaning agents. It can also be caused by leaching of contaminants from solid waste disposal sites, and also the water runoff that carries pollutants and may deposit the contaminants at a point of percolation. Next is air pollution. Air pollution is usually caused by improper waste management such as trash burning or also open burning. It is related to the release of greenhouse gases such as methane and carbon dioxide and is related to bad odor. It can impose human health risks such as landfill gases that could cause respiratory problems and also cancer and sometimes problems to visibility. Next is harm towards animals and marine lives. It is actually because of continual dumping of any solid waste into the ocean, rivers or lakes. Sometimes waste contaminates the land where we grow food and provides water for animals. So this is how animals are affected by this problem. And waste is thrown into oceans, rivers or lakes could also affect marine lives. When we have so much garbage in the ocean, it could actually affect the water quality and thus affects the marine life.
How the solid waste management can be addressed under the Sustainable Goal 11 and 12. In Goal 11, through the way of focusing the solid waste management service from the perspective of the waste workers and the system collection regularly on solid waste, this can help to reduce the average per capita environment impacts on the cities and paying more attention to air qualities and other waste management. Besides, this goals also targets to control and manage the urban solid waste, as they say that the amount of urban solid waste must be equal with the final discharge of the total urban solid waste which generated by the cities. Well, for the goal 12, the problem of the solid waste management can be tackled by reducing the waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse in our daily. Besides, the goals also encourage the companies to adopt the sustainable practices such as the Go Green spaces, sustainable design and construction in their building. One of the sustainable practices that implemented in our Malaysia is Panasonic Malaysia, which focus on the 4 R's, which is the reuse, reduce, recycle, and respect. Well, for the sustainable design and constructions, the IBS, which is the industrial building system, is implemented in our Malaysia to reduce the production of the solid waste, so that less pollution will be occur in our Malaysia. Thus, with the Sustainable Development Goal, the problem of the solid waste management can be mitigated and solved.
How to resolve solid waste management? So there are 5 actions that should be taken if possible before we recycle any products. There are refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, and also recycle. So for the first one, refuse, we practice on refusing waste product for our business by simply refusing to use any single-use plastic or wasteful non-recyclable product. For example, we avoid unnecessary product packaging and attempt for reusable or returnable packaging for and containers. So for the second one is reduce. Reduce is when we use minimal amount required to avoid excess waste, as this material and energy could be used for future requirement. For example, when printing a document, instead of print it for one side, we use double side, or we can go paperless. So the next one is reuse. Reuse is when we replace disposable cups with coffee mugs and reusable water bottles. We also can reuse plastic bag over and over again. So the next one is repurpose. The green community often refers this method as upcycling. When we try to use leftover cardboard for storage, leftover cups and mugs as stationary holders. That was we call as repurpose. So the last one is recycle. Recycle is the most eco-friendly waste disposal method. It is a process of converting waste into something new or usable product to prevent waste disposal.
Although all these actions cannot fully stop the pollution and its effects, but somehow it helped in reducing the problem of massive solid waste management. The problem of finding environmentally feasible way to dispose of waste will be considerably easier if there is less waste generated in the first place. Now that we know that what is solid waste, why is it an issue, and how can we help, now it's time for us to take care of our Mother Earth.